Hello, everybody. This is Linda DeVitis, owner and founder of healingsonthego.com. I am the host, Linda DeVitis, psychic clairvoyant medium, author of my own book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, certified healer, crystal healer, magnified healer, professional space clearer, candle manifestation channeling, and just got certified for past life regression. To find me, you can go to healingsonthego.com. I would like to introduce my very good friend and special guest, Diane End, to the show. Yay.
Good evening, Linda. Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure. He is live from India and he's amazing. Thank you so much for
You're
being
very kind.
very
You're
early
very
over
kind. Yes. It's pretty early in the morning here. Yeah.
It's always nice to have you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So please
Great.
introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay. I'll introduce myself. My name is Dayanand, and I'm a professor of business management at a university in Goa. We have a Goa business school in which I'm a professor here. I have been into astrology for the last 33 years, so more than 3 decades into astrology. And I have been into astrology as a hobby. Um, I am trained in academics, so there's a scientific bent of mind which is always there to look at things and to research things. But as far as astrology is concerned, I have been a very ardent follower of it, and I practice astrology. I have a large number of clients all over the world, I would say, people who come and try and get solutions to some of the problems through the medium of astrology. And it's been a very exciting experience for me throughout these decades.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. A quick hello to Maria, and thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Please do like and share. So
Great.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
What got you into astrology?
Sorry.
What? How were you interested? Like from a young age of astrology,
Oh,
or as you got older?
it's got a nice story behind it.
Oh wow!
I have always been a very inquisitive person as a child. Okay, and I was interested in doing medicine. I wanted to be a doctor, like a very good Indian. I wanted to be a doctor. So when my father took my horoscope to our family astrologer, he said, this boy doesn't have any career in medicine. And I was completely taken aback. I said, who is this person who's going to tell me that I can't do medicine? So I decided to enroll and take a chance at medicine. And I missed it by a whisker.
Oh wow!
I missed getting into medicine by a whisker. So I decided to try once more. So I actually took an year off and studied more and studied harder. And the next time as well, I missed it by a whisker again.
Oh wow!
So, but then I was unwilling to bend down to this kind of a prediction. So I said, let me get into science. So I went to another city. I joined a college which offered science, and I studied physics, chemistry, and mathematics.
Wow!
Believe it or not, in 6 months' time, I fell ill. I was really, very ill, and I had to leave the course and come back home.
Wow!
And after that, I said, okay, let me take up business studies, which is what he had predicted. And that is how I am here as a professor of business rather than a doctor. So that put me onto trying to find out what exactly is this? Why is it that somebody can predict something like this and that happens? So I decided to study astrology. Fortunately for me, I had a professor of mine when I was studying physics. He himself was an astrologer, and he had a great scientific bent of mind. So I studied under him. I learned Vedic astrology under him. He he taught me how to cast a horoscope by hand. Nowadays, you have softwares which do the same, but I did cast it. And I studied, I read a lot of books, old ancient texts, which are written in Sanskrit and translated into English as well. So I read those books, and I analyzed the horoscopes of my family members because I knew the kind of events that they had gone through, critical events they had gone through, and then I honed my skills as an astrologer and basically in predictive astrology.
Wow,
So that's how my journey into astrology began.
Oh, wow. And I heard it's very different from the Western astrology. The Vedic astrology is very different, right?
That's right. That's right. That's very different in the sense. Okay, apart from the physical charts which we prepare, the charts in Western astrology are usually round in shape. We have square shape. That's basically the physical part of how the horoscope is cast. But basically, Indian Vedic astrology is based on constellations. It's more lunar based as compared to solar based as far as Western astrology is concerned.
Wow.
Okay. And it's basically predictive astrology. So the predictions are done based on the movement of moon, the placement of moon, and the constellations in which each of these planets are at the time of the birth. So that's the fundamental of Indian Vedic astrology, and that's the difference which we have. So lunar astrology basically is said to be a little bit accurate as far as predictions are concerned. More accurate, I would say. I wouldn't say there is 100% accuracy anywhere. Otherwise,
right,
every astrologer who could predict 100% would be God. But that's not the thing. That's not the thing.
So if somebody came to you for like a reading, I mean, to do their chart, what would you need from them?
Okay, there are only three things which are necessary. Their date of birth, apart from their name, their date of birth. What is required is also the exact time of birth or the time of birth which is noted down in the hospitals or the records, right? And the place of birth, where they are exactly born, because we need to look at the latitude and longitude of the place to identify the position of planets with reference to that particular place. So these three things, the date of birth, the time of birth, and the place of birth. These are three things which are essential to cast the horoscope.
Wow. And what Ria's asking, so what if you don't know the time?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Many people wouldn't be knowing the exact time of birth. It becomes a little bit difficult to cast the horoscope when the exact time of birth is not known, because a little bit of movement this way and that way, as far as time is concerned, could change the ascendant.
Oh, wow.
Okay, could change the rising sign. And if that changes, then the entire horoscope changes. So predictions won't come true then. It happens in many cases. Because that's the reason why I usually, even when people here in India, basically a large number of people have their horoscopes with them. But when somebody comes to me with their horoscope, I recheck it on my system to find out if the horoscope is cast properly or not. Because otherwise the predictions would go wrong. And that's something which was not going to help the clients at all. So those who do not know their birth, I have a different system, which is a very ancient system. It's called as the Prashna Marga, or the query system. So that's the time when we start looking at the questions which people have rather than their charts. And I have a system where I use shells, seashells, and I use them to give the answer to the question which people pose. At that point of time, their natal charts are not necessary. So that system also is there. And I have a pretty good correlation between the natal chart and the query chart.
And I want to add how excellent you are. I know Diana for how many? 23 years. And I have to say, he's my go-to person. Whenever I'm worried, I drive him crazy. I'm like, so desperate. Poor man, I drive him crazy. So I said, you have to come on my show. I cannot say that he has never been wrong in anything I've asked. Yeah, you have not, and you're very accurate. I have to say you are very, very accurate, amazingly accurate. So yes, I do highly recommend you for people that need to ask questions. He's amazing, and he's my good friend. I'm honored that he's my good friend
Yeah,
for
yeah,
so many years.
yeah. That's
My
true.
twin just wrote. She said, "I remember a long time ago." Yeah,
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, that's true.
my dad, he had questions back then, so we would ask, and he was just very accurate with everything. So God bless you, and he's very gifted. And I was like, wow, that's how I got drawn to him because I'm like, how does he know all this stuff about me?
Well,
So
that's
we've been
true.
good friends for a long time, and you are
Very true. Very true. And you are an amazing person yourself. You're
thank you. And when
yeah,
you showed me today the shells, it's amazing how you
yes,
do it.
yes,
You're very gifted.
yes. Thanks. It's God's gift because this knowledge doesn't belong to me. It belongs to those who created it, ancient saints, uh, who saints basically they were scientists, they were researchers, so they would use different means and methods to know about planets. The interesting thing is, in astrology, in ancient texts, Mars is identified and it is called as the son of Earth or the child of Earth. And today we can see when NASA sends their rover on Mars, you can see that it almost is like Earth or was like Earth millions of years ago. So these were all done by the ancient saints in India through their yogic systems. They could probably, transport themselves, their consciousness outside and learn about planets. So even measurements of different planets have been identified even much before Galileo discovered the telescope. So we will know that.
Wow.
That's the ancient text. That's the ancient wisdom which is there. I'm just a follower of that ancient wisdom so that it's helpful to people. That's all.
Like my father used to call you, Mago means wizard. You are the wizard. Yes, you're amazing. Did you some things like did you teach it yourself or did your guru help you with the
my
curve?
my guru my guru helped me, both my astrological guru, who was my professor of physics, he is unfortunately no more,
Oh,
and my spiritual guru.
wow.
Their contributions in all these fields is phenomenal. My spiritual guru is the one who directs the purpose of life, the entire purpose of life. It's not just astrology; is just one part of the
Right.
Vedas that we have here. It's called as a sub Veda or Upaveda, as it's called. But uh, to a large extent, their blessings are the ones uh, which help me to predict. Otherwise,
Wow.
it's always like that. When you have the blessings of the teacher,
Yes.
you can excel in your lives. And these are all wise people.
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, you have lots of gifts and you know how to read the hand too, not to get off subject, but I think you do,
Uh,
right?
I well, I mean, nature has got various ways and means of revealing itself. Okay, so palmistry is one, numerology is another, astrology is a third one. So there are various ways, and one has to delve very deeply into the subject in order to have a mastery over it.
Right.
So I do not have that kind of a mastery in terms of reading hands as much as I have on astrology. So I haven't spent a lot of time trying to find out about palmistry.
Mm-hmm.
I have constantly been very, very interested in astrology itself.
Yeah, and God bless you because there's a lot to
Right?
learn. So many signs and everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
yes.
not easy. It's a whole
A lot
study.
of permutations, yeah, a lot of permutations, combinations, things which are, and there are times when a lot of people ask me now with artificial intelligence coming in, the permutations, combinations can be taken over by computers, they can identify. But I have yet to see that happen because the kind of permutation combinations in Vedic astrology, we have 27 constellations, nine celestial beings, including 5 planets, the sun, moon, and the north and south nodes, and 12 zodiacal signs, each divided into 30 degrees south. The permutation combinations are phenomenal. I don't know whether at some point of time, probably artificial intelligence might. It's intelligence. I don't know. I will have to wait for artificial wisdom to come in, actually, in order to help.
That's true. I forgot which one they say on the chart that there's a zodiac sign that brings you bad luck. And I forgot Uranus, or I don't remember which one. My sister Ria knows about that. Ria with family. She's like, oh, this is
Usually,
the answer. It'll bring you bad luck. I was like, really?
well, that luck as such is something which is there as a part and parcel of one's destiny,
Right, right.
right? So it's not left to a single sign as such. And so also is good luck. Why do we look at the negative part of it? Always look at the positive part of it, and there would be good luck happening in your life as well, in everybody's life, depending on the time span. Yeah.
There's a sign that they say now. I don't know anything about astrology, just very basic. So what is the north? What is it called? The north node. What does that mean?
Okay, the moon cuts the Earth's axis at 2 points, the north and the south, and that is called as the north node and the south node. They are basically reference points. But magnetic fields in those areas give similar results to Saturn and Mars. The magnetic fields, so that's the reason why they say that the north node, which is called Rahu in Vedic astrology, acts like Saturn, and the south node, which is called Ketu. These are mythical stories which are there associated with it from mythology, but it acts like Mars. So when we look at these two nodes and their positions in the Vedic astrological chart, natal chart, a lot of predictions. They have their qualities as well, but mostly they behave like Saturn and Mars, the north and south nodes, respectively.
Oh wow!
So that's the fundamental aspect there.
Oh wow! So we're going to take
a north node generally is.
Oh, you froze. Dayang, I hope you're on. Hello? He froze, but we're going to take a very quick commercial break, and we will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought.
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back with my special guest, Dayang.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Michelle.
Yeah, these are technological glitches which always come through.
Yes, thank God you're back.
Yeah.
So I have some people that ask me, they said, can you predict my destiny through astrology charting?
Yes, it's possible to predict the destiny in the sense I always call an astrological chart as a directional policy matrix. You know, it can help you take decisions based on the kind of situations that you will be in a position to know. It's something like, okay, it's going to be too cold tomorrow, or it's going to snow, so you will probably take precautions, right? Especially if you're going out or if you have some work. Or if it's predicted that it's going to be too windy, you might probably want to be back home early. So these are all situations which are predicted. And destiny can be predicted using the astrological chart in terms of the situations that you are likely to be in. Okay? And it's left to you as an individual to take a decision. Astrology will not take decisions for you.
Right. Free will.
Yeah. Free will is... Yeah, in fact, I think the greatest power on earth is the free will of an individual. That helps us to act. And action is all life. Inaction is death. So it depends on the theory of karma as well. So you need to act. It is your free will to act. And the free will is what is going to get you the results of your actions. So only thing is, astrological charts will help you the direction in which you can exercise your free will, and that's the beauty of astrology per se.
Yes, and the karmic debts, I believe karmic debts, and yeah, you can advise people don't go somewhere, but if they go, that's their free will,
Right?
their consequence.
That's their free will. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. What remedies or suggestions do you commonly recommend your clients?
See, every individual is unique, and every individual's capacities are different, right? Their capacity to pray, because prayer is one of the biggest, I would say, energies that people can push across to the universe. Okay. One of the most common remedies that I look at based on the astrological chart are gemstones.
Nice.
You know, each planet has its own gemstone. Yeah, and like for example, emerald is a gemstone for Mercury, and Mercury signifies intelligence. It signifies numbers. It signifies, arithmetical ability. It signifies commercial abilities. It signifies writing. So a very strong, Mercury in a horoscope can give you these, can bestow on you, these capabilities.
Right.
So gemstones are generally used as remedial measures. Where you can strengthen the position and the character of a particular planet in your horoscope.
Oh, wow.
So it depends on, sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. No. I heard that emerald is, because I went to crystal healing classes and my instructor said emerald is the most negative stone. Is that true? It's true.
From the viewpoint of astrology, there is no negative stone or a positive stone.
Okay.
All stones exude energies that benefit a particular planet, and depending on the planet's position in your horoscope, it will impact you if you wear that particular gemstone. So if you wear a stone that is negatively placed in your horoscope, that is not beneficial to you in your natal chart, then obviously it's not going to give you good benefits, right? Wow. So at which point of time we say that it's not good. Well, it's not good for you. Per se, the emerald, it just gives out energies, that's all. magnetic energies. Yeah, it's not good or bad in that sense. It depends on what is its impact on an individual, and that depends on the horoscope as well.
Oh, nice. Which one do you recommend for my chart? The
Linda, offhand, I don't remember your chart, but I think, yeah, I think a very strong Mercury is there. If I'm right, Emerald is extremely good for you. If I'm right, you have Mercury in your ascendant, in your rising sign, along with Moon, and that gives you incredible powers to see through things.
Oh, wow.
In fact, Mercury is understandable as a planet, which allows you to understand the meaning of hidden things. It's like the ability to read between the lines. So, a large number of diplomats have this particular strong Mercury in their horoscope.
Oh, wow.
So, so analyzing and ability to read through or ability to see through things is one of the things which Mercury gives. And Emerald is the stone for Mercury. And in your horoscope, I think Emerald is very good for you. It's extremely good for you.
Oh, wow.
I would definitely recommend. Yeah, but then there are different levels of Mercury. The Emerald, in terms of its clarity and in terms of its strength. So when you wear an emerald or when you wear any gemstone, for example. Hello.
Yes.
Are you able to see me, Linda?
Yes, I hear you. Keep going. We're good.
Are you able to see me?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, now you froze. Oh, no, don't freeze. We're going to have to bring you back in. But I'll continue on. Emerald is, they say sometimes, yes, you froze. You did freeze. Yes. He's texting me now. You did freeze. He might need to come back in. You might need to come back in. Emerald is known as a negative stone for what they say, but as you said, every planet is different. So I think that too bad you're frozen now. We can't continue. Bobby, if you could bring him back in, that'd be great. Okay. So we're going to try to bring him back in. So yeah, he was saying about the different planets and that some are, they reflect different stones. So in my case, Mercury, emerald's supposed to be a real good thing. And that's awesome because I always heard the opposite. So I was always like very skeptical. And I said to myself, let me stay away because with gemstones, you could feel different things. Hi, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Let me just connect my headphones so that
good. I'm glad you came back.
I'll be able to hear it correctly.
Yeah. So I was talking about the emerald, which is good.
I think you're able to hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Is this okay?
Yes, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I just changed I got onto my phone, so probably it's much easier this way rather than on my tab. This is another thing which Mercury does. It governs technology. It governs media. It governs. So probably it's not too strong in my horoscope.
You poor thing.
It isn't.
And
Anyway,
says, yeah, you're back. We're all happy.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah.
So my question is, how do you stay updated with the latest, astrology things?
Okay. Well, what happens is, to a large extent, I depend on my own experiences and my own observations about different horoscopes. There are a lot of magazines of astrology where people post their articles, their ideas. Right. But scientifically speaking, this is not material science that I can do an experiment and then say that, okay, this is the effect, this is the cause, and this is the effect, right? So we look at it more as a social science, and hence I need to look at observations, right? So if I analyze 100 horoscopes and find out this is the impact of a particular planet in a particular position on individuals, then I will be able to say sufficiently scientifically that this is the kind of an impact which a planet has on a particular individual, right? It's possible also to design graphs, etc., by improving our technology and inducing that into astrology. But I'm not currently, as yet, I'm not into it. So a lot of research which is done in astrology has been done by the ancient saints, and they have written it down in the texts, right? So ancient Vedic astrology used to take only 5 planets. That is, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. Those were the 5 planets they used to take. But current astrologers, many of the astrologers in Vedic astrology, take up Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune as well. Though the ancient texts do not mention the impact of these anywhere. So as I said again, a large number of people are looking at observations, their own observations, and then including that. I prefer to use the traditional system because I have something to back on in terms of secondary research which has been done earlier. So I keep myself abreast of that, and I basically look at predictive astrology. So long as I'm able to guide people and the accuracy levels are fairly okay, that helps the individual, because personally, I believe more in terms of what happens on the ground, in terms of how this knowledge can help people, rather than into the research of it.
Right, right. And how often do you recommend like follow-up readings or consultations?
Usually what happens is when there is a prediction, it is usually done with a particular time frame. Okay, the short term as well as the long term, right? So normally, I ask people to get back to me maybe after 2 months' time, or after the time period of my prediction is over. Like, for example, I say that you would do exceedingly well 6 months later. I would definitely like the person to come back after 6 months to give me a feedback on how things are with the person, so that if there are any changes which I need to look at, or if I need to look at deeply in terms of what is happening, I would be able to do that. So what I do is I also use the query system in the follow-ups, because what happens is I do not know what kind of actions you have undertaken, right? And the query system reveals those actions during that period.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because by the time I predict, it is based on your past karma. It's based on the destiny that is there ahead for you. Well, what you do now is not known to me. I wouldn't be knowing that. But the query system reveals that as well. So it's easier for me to then make a prediction or make, adjustments to the timings of predictions using both systems. So I simultaneously use both systems. I use the natal chart for predictions, and I use the query chart for follow-ups as such.
Will it show, like, if somebody wants to know how many children will they have, will it show that or no? The astrology.
It shows the number of children and the predominance of male and female children. It shows. Oh, wow. It's not that it doesn't show. People do predict that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And also marriages and stuff like that.
Oh, that's a very common thing in India. People match horoscopes. Horoscopes are matched in India in arranged marriages.
Oh, wow.
So there is a tenet in astrology that if there are 2 people who decide to get married on their own, then their horoscopes should not be checked for compatibility, because that's something which nature has already determined. You do not have the moral right to interfere with nature.
Really? Wow. So, but what if you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, too bad. So
Yeah.
you can't, if they ask you, you can't tell them?
No, normally what happens is if the male and the female, both of them decide to get married, then you're not supposed to look at the horoscopes. I had a very interesting session once. I was an official astrologer for a 5-star hotel here in Goa years ago, many years ago. And there was a person from England. She came and she asked me to look at her horoscope. So I analyzed it and then I predicted. She was quite happy. And she says, my partner also wants to know his horoscope or his destiny. So can I bring him along? I said, okay. So the next day she came along with her partner and I looked at his chart and I also explained it to him. And then they both asked me a question. Both of them simultaneously asked me a question saying that, should we get married? How is marriage going to be for us? And I was like, they were in their mid-40s.
Wow.
Almost 20 years ago. So I said, why would you want to get married? Aren't you happy as you are? They said, yes, but we just wanted to know. They were living together for about 18 or 19 years.
Wow.
So at that point of time, I just had a look at both the horoscopes and I realized that, marriage brings changes in terms of the magnetic fields around each other, and that impacts. So I suggested that they stay as happy as they are without getting into the bond of marriage.
It's true.
So yes,
people say that.
Yeah, that's true.
People change when they get married. They turn backwards or something.
Oh.
Not always, but
these are,
it does change.
Yeah. These are all expectations. People have expectations from each other. Those expectations, but planetary positions and planetary impacts also are there because the magnetic fields of each individual. But you know about the auras, right? The auras mix, and then there's a change in the person's behavior. The influential auras, in fact. Yeah.
So that's what happens. They absorbed each other's auras.
Definitely. No doubt about that.
And what happens to them? They change.
Oh, well, what happens is the behavior changes, actions change, and hence the destiny also changes.
Wow, that's interesting. No wonder sometimes when someone's married for like 40-something years, like my aunt and uncle, they used to look like the same because I guess they become one, Even his hair used to look like my aunt.
I don't know about looking alike, but I think when people are together for a long time, people who see them start seeing them alike. They're not really alike.
That's true.
So that might be the reason.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take one more commercial break and we will be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought.
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic clairvoyant medium and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my special guest, Dayangan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. So I wanted to ask you more about the query system. And that one also could predict a lot of things. Can you tell the viewers what else can it predict?
Well, the query system is a very ancient system which was developed. It's developed in the southern part of India, South India, and the system basically looks at casting the horoscope for that particular day and using. People usually use seashells, very small seashells that identify. Based on the question, that identify the ascendant, the rising sign, at the time of question is asked. Not the rising sign in the physical sense, but the rising sign based on the seashells which are used. Okay, so what I do is that whenever a question is asked, I try to find out what is the individual's situation as at that particular moment. Okay, and it gives me the situation. I have to interpret the situation based on the ascendant which is shown. Now this is a system which requires a lot of energy from my side in terms of interpreting it. A lot of purity which is necessary, because purity, as I said, in terms of thought and deed, because otherwise it is difficult to get the right ascendant, or the right lagna, as it's called, the right rising sign. I also had to perform a ritual associated with the 9 planets, or the 9 celestial beings, which we use in astrology, and cast the horoscope. You might have probably seen that when I used it last time. So the horoscope for that particular day, the chart for that particular day is drawn. And then based on the question which is asked, I do the predictions. Okay, so it depends on the question which is asked, the prediction, rather than the natal chart per se.
Nice. Do you call on to your angels? Is it intuitive, or just? I'm sure it is intuitive, right?
It is intuitive, and it's basically my prayers to all the planets to reveal themselves.
Wow, that's beautiful.
In terms of so I need to pray to them so that they can reveal themselves, and I can get the right prediction for the person, so that the person's queries are answered. Right? It also reveals a lot about the person per se. Right?
That's amazing.
And based on that, then I'll have to take a decision in terms of interpreting it, right? Based on the context in which the person is and is asking the questions. And then I do the predictions for them.
That's amazing. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it takes a lot of my energies per se.
Wow.
I'll have to concentrate and do that. So exactly. By the time I finish with a couple of clients, it's quite draining in terms of energy.
Yes, I totally understand. That's why exchange is always needed, because what you give, you get. It's
That's right.
Your energy, and it is draining. I can relate to healings and stuff. There's some of them that would just make me want to lay down right after a healing. So I totally understand.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's draining, but it's worth it.
Yes, yes. See, I think the whole idea of using this knowledge to helping someone itself is quite exhilarating.
Yes, it
that
is.
itself is quite fulfilling.
Yes, and you're helping them, so that's awesome. And again, whoever hasn't tried, I highly recommend to contact you because you're very good at what you do. You're very gifted.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome. Tell us more about the Prashana Marga.
That's the query system. Yeah, that's the query system. That the query system is. Prashna means query, question that you have. It means the question that you have, and I mean it's done usually in the presence of a person. But these days with technology, we have people like how I am here. Right now, it's about 6:50 in the morning here. The birds are chirping here, and you're there, and it's probably 8:20 there in New York, right? 8:20 p.m. in New York. So distances have now been taken away by technology completely. So the person's presence is not necessary. So I have a lot of people who phone in, both in terms of audio as well as video calls, and then I do the prashna. I do the query for them, and I have a job. I'm a professor at a university, so it's a public university. So my time is entirely taken up by my profession.
Yes.
And so I just have just about 3 hours in the evening, which I on weekdays, and I have, of course, the weekends, which I devote entirely to astrology, and that's the only time when I'm able to, handle questions from clients or people who contact me. So usually I'm available. If you're looking at New York time, it's around this time. It's around the early mornings that I'm available from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. New York time. That's the time when it's evening here. So I'm available here from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the night in India. That would be 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. in the morning on weekdays. Of course, even on weekends, this is the timing which would be there because other times the time difference is so much that people will find it odd to call me when I'm awake during the day. And it's pretty late in the night there. In the middle of the night for you.
When they
or if it's the midday for you, it's middle of the night for me.
Yes, yes. Oh, wow, that's amazing. And you can, they can ask you health questions through that, anything, right?
Anything except things related to crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crime is something which is taboo. It's not disclosed. It's not. Otherwise, people would ask me, "Oh, a lot of things of mine are stolen. Where are they? And what are they? Will I be able?" Questions which are answered on the query system.
Yeah, and no death questions, right?
No death questions as well. No, the thing is that the free will is such that you cannot predict, and one should not predict. That you can predict ill health, so that people can take, we can use the free will to take precautionary measures. That's something which can be done. But certainty, definitely not recommended, because I don't know how much of willpower you have. I mean, you may have the willpower to move mountains, and that goes against the predictions completely. So the free will is one of the most important. So astrological charts can help you take a decision based on the situation. I can predict the situation, and then it's your free will to take decisions.
Okay. Right. So everybody, don't ask him death questions. Because some people do ask. They even ask me, "How long do you think I'm gonna live?" I'm like, "I don't know." I said, "I'm really off with that." I predicted my father was gonna live till 80s, and he died 70 something. So I'm not good with that stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And they will
so in the query system, all other kinds of questions, which usually people ask questions about their careers, about children, about marriage, about relationships, about money, about wealth, about what's going to happen to them, about health. So all questions which are related to an individual's life, people do ask that, and it's possible to predict. It's not difficult. I use the query system, to do that very effectively, apart from the natal charts which I prepare.
That's awesome. And of course, you must give offerings to your guides for coming in and helping you, right? Like some people give flowers or different offerings for their spirit guides.
Yes, they do. People do offer in kind, as one can say, and it's their faith. And they do it with faith, and that's the most important thing. If you have faith in something, that can move mountains for you. So it's got a lot to do with the kind of intent that you have when you seek any kind of answers to your questions using astrology. And this is also done as a part of energy exchange. Right? When I use my energies, people use their energies in any form, in cash, kind, whatever way they are capable of, and they offer that.
Yes, and time went really fast. So real quick, if someone wanted to reach you, can you tell them where can they find you?
Yes. People can reach me on my phone number, which is 91. That's the country code for India, +91. And my phone number is 8830957284. That's 10 digits. It's +91 8830957284. That's my phone. You can reach me on that, on WhatsApp. That's the easiest way to reach out. And you can also reach me on my email, which is my name, Dayanand, MS. DAYANAND MS. M for any any name that starts with M. MS. DAYANAND MS @yahoo.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an honor. And everybody could reach me at healingsonthego.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Linda Davidas, DAVETAS. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure, Diana.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be with you on the show, Linda. And I wish Strong Ally Television a wonderful time ahead for itself, right? And you too. May God bless all of us with health, wisdom, and prosperity. Okay?
Yes. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Be blessed.
Thank you, Linda.
Well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night. Okay, take care.